Good afternoon. My name is Louise Gauffin, CEO at grid tech company Arkion. We're founded in 2019. We're headquartered in Stockholm, Sweden, and we are today 23 people. And today I'll be talking about the power grid, a critical component, yet a blind spot in the energy transition. Grid outages and failures cost global economy $150 billion every year. Why? Because we haven't had proper tools to inspect and assess the condition of our grids. 90% of defects have gone undetected. Today, with the advent of drone technology, sensor technology, and AI development, there is an opportunity to work differently. We can modernize our grids, we can optimize the performance of our assets, and we can unlock massive value. And this is where Arkion comes in. Arkion is a computer vision company leveraging sensor-based data that electric utilities are collecting through their grid inspections. And these grid inspections are essentially a flyover of the grid that happens on a regular basis with either helicopters and more recently with drones, during which sensor-based data is collected. They collect images, thermal data, and LiDAR 3D point clouds. And Arkion takes this data into our platform, and not only do we give our customers a visual representation of their assets that they haven't had in the past, we also analyze these massive data sets with the help of our core technology, computer vision, which is a subset of machine learning and AI. And we highlight the defects, the anomalies, the risks, the vulnerabilities, so that our customers can be more preventive, is the key word, in their decision-making regarding maintenance, investment planning, and inventory. So how far have we come? We today partner with transmission and distribution operators throughout Europe and the Americas. Last year, we had revenues of north of €1 million, and we contracted an additional €3 million. We today have multi-year contracts with some of the largest and most forward-looking utilities in Europe and the Americas, for example, E.ON here in Europe. Our customers have, for the past few years, tested and validated our technology, and it's now being deployed at scale into operation, which generates real-world proof points that speak to the value that we deliver. And more utilities are now taking this on because they have to get more out of what they already have, better utilization of current infrastructure. But don't take our word for it. Our customers are out there, and they're happily speaking for us. On a final note, we're currently raising a round of capital. We're raising €5 million, looking to onboard 1 or 2 new investors to join us on this next phase of growth. Thank you.
Okay, let's go for the questions.
Please.
Yeah, hi, thank you. My name is Kate. Question, how is your solution differs from other solutions on the market?
Yeah, great question. So it's not a very crowded space, actually. The main competition, if you will, is moving utilities from a very traditional and manual way of working, manual inspections, over to digitalizing their grids and working in a new way. There are some head-to-head competitions, and we meet them in RFP processes and customer dialogues at fairs such as this. And we have a fairly good handle of how we are similar and how we are different. But it's not a crowded space. There's one in Norway, for example. There is one in the US, and we meet them all the time and are scrutinized in the RFP processes that we compete in. Our customers very much test our technical abilities and benchmark us towards them. So we know that we today have the technically strongest product on the market, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the fantastic presentation. And I'm interested in the €1 million revenue, right? How is it constituted in terms of recurring revenue, and what's the underlying business model?
Great question, thank you. So we have a commercial model, so we are software only, and the commercial model is divided into 2 main components. The first component is a monthly subscription fee that the grid owner pays depending on how large their grid is. So that's recurring, and that's giving you access to our platform, being able to visualize your assets, looking at your inventory, planning, etc. The other component is also a recurring software component, but it's transactional. It's when when you have done these inspections and you upload these massive data sets and basically press please analyze, we charge for that. And then that's again, depending on how large your grid is and the level of urgency that you need those results in. So both are reoccurring, but these inspections are mandatory in most markets. So in the Nordics, for example, where we are headquartered, utilities need to do these inspections at least once per year. So for us, it becomes annually recurring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louise. We round out of time. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let's continue and let's welcome on stage Beltran, Aznar, CEO of Clevergy. Here you are. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Beltran, CEO at Clevergy. We build tech for the energy retailers to basically help them survive this energy transition. Before I tell you how, just a quick note on the status. So we all know growth of distributed energy resources. In 5 years' time, half of the population will have at least one. In 10 years' time, at least two. Now, this changes massively the grid. We're talking about 60 billion euros of annual investment required. You know this. Households can play a key role in solving this, right? How are retailers reacting to this? Evolving. So we see players such as Octopus, Tiber, 1,5, and what they have in common is 3 key blocks. First one would be they are able to provide the smart services, smart operations, and smart tariffs. Second is that they are able to distribute and manage the energy assets, such as solar, batteries, heat pumps, etc. And third, they are able to play with the grid, flexibility, and so on, right? Now, traditional companies have 2 options. Either they adapt or they die. Here we see an example of Octopus in UK, how they won the market, while the traditional ones are losing market share because they don't have the right tech, right? So this is where Clevergy comes in. We allow energy companies to transition from 0 to 3. Our platform integrates data from smart meters, energy assets, and the energy markets. And we offer our solution in 2 big blocks, right? One is towards the end user, where we help companies build either a white label application from scratch, or we enrich the existing one that they already had. And then with our API, we enrich their existing systems, CRMs such as Salesforce, billing system, etc., so that they have better operations themselves, right? With this, we help the end user understand, optimize, and control their energy. And we help the company provide better service, lower cost to serve, and create new revenue lines. Super quickly, all in all, this is a bit of a crowded space, as you know. I mean, you have different players trying to tackle this. In our view, the winner will be the one that has more volume, more households under management, and the ones in the best position to do this are the retailers. We believe the best way to win the retailers is with helping them with the problems they have today, right? So we know flexibility sounds super sexy, even for UBCs especially, but in real life, the problems of retailers are in blocks 1 and 2, which is remain competitive, right? That's why our go-to-market is to win the pole position by winning the retailers with the problems they have today, securing the position with integration to their systems, gaining the trust with the end user, and then growing upwards, right? We see other players trying to go directly to the flex space. We think that makes sense in UK or in other countries, but in Southern Europe, which is where we operate, this is not a real necessity yet. So we try to help companies here. That's why we've been able to reach more than 400,000 households as per today across some of the most important companies in Spain, and we're here for more. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Time for the jury's questions.
Yep.
Thank you for your presentation. So we understand that it's kind of platform that will help to unlock those layers of flexibility, as we say, a sexy kind of approach. You've mentioned you have a few kind of potential clients as part of the platform, that you already work with 2 of them. How do you see the landscape towards unlock all the potential clients through this platform that can be user for?
We're working with more than 10 of them. What do you mean with what? How do we see the unlocking?
We saw like you work more with distributed energy resources, and then you have like 2 more EV application, heat pumps, and all those areas.
Okay, I see what you mean. So right now we do what our customers demand, more or less, in the sense that the real need today is to provide a good energy service that is able to understand and help the end user. The second block is that they are able to distribute these assets. And then EVs, for instance, in Spain, penetration is very low, so we are not prioritizing that yet. And flexibility, when it comes to households, you cannot yet even aggregate to participate in flexibility, right? So our goal is to win massive households, massive megawatts under management, and then increase the integrations. So that's the steps that we're taking.
Thank you.
Yep.
How do you acquire the end customers through your enterprise customers? Like, how do you push your solution to the end user and ensure adoption?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, part of the business is to make sure we do a proper delivery. The one acquiring the end user is actually the retailer. And since we embed our solution in their application, usually that's like, let's say, served for all of them. But we need to help them with our customer success team in activation, with campaigns, opt-ins, and so on. So that's part of one of the challenges. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I have the... Okay, great. Okay, let's move on. Let's continue with Max Carrel, co-founder and CTO of Dyneo Technologies. Dyneo Technologies. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Max. I'm the co-founder of Dyneo Technologies. We are a Swiss-based startup that decarbonizes district heating and cooling networks. And today we've heard a lot about innovations driving the transition to a clean electricity system. But electricity itself is actually a tiny, or not tiny, a small fraction of the global energy usage. Heating and cooling is actually much larger in terms of share of energy usage, and it's largely unelectrified and powered by fossil fuel. So addressing this challenge is both extremely complex and also very critical. Now, district heating and cooling is one of the key technology to address this challenge and decarbonize this sector, and it is widely pushed across Europe by different climate policies. But existing infrastructures are still heavily relying on fossil fuel, and we see a very strong pressure on the operators to decarbonize their networks. This is the challenge that we are addressing with Dyneo. By providing energy utilities with a software solution to reduce the heat loss in the infrastructure while decarbonizing or rather increasing the share of renewables in the energy mix, and finally streamlining the operation in order to reduce the time and effort required to operate those complex infrastructures. In practice, this is how the technology works. We start by collecting data about existing infrastructures without need for heavy modernization, which is really critical, thanks to data connectors that we have developed. The data is then processed in order to detect and prioritize performance-degrading issues on the network and emit recommendations on how to fix them. And by performing those actions, our clients are able to boost the efficiency of their overall network in a long-lasting way. Dyneo is less than 2 years old, and we already have deployed our technology on 4 major energy providers in Switzerland. And we also just secured our pre-seed round. Actually, we closed this very Monday, and are now actively expanding internationally and expanding our team currently with 7 people working full-time on the project. If you want to learn more about how data-driven technologies can be leveraged to decarbonize district heating and cooling sector, please talk to me and book a demo. Thank you.
Could you share how your solution is different than the competitors out there, knowing that it's not a super crowded space, but yeah, what's the differentiator?
Yeah, sure. The main aspect, so one of the things that we see is that there is a strong need for data, and this is still a domain that is widely not digitalized. And we really focus on this. So we collect the data that is available when it is, and we support with the deployment of easy-to-connect IoT gateways to collect the data when it is not. We also have a very data-driven way of basically understanding the model, which is much more time efficient on the client side. So really the goal is to be as frictionless as possible in terms of deployment. And this is how we differentiate from most, or the few competitors we have in the field. Yeah. Some of them have raised very strong rounds very lately. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. It's interesting to see this area evolving, and it's interesting to understand how the process of connected actually to decentralized heating till the potential customer you have and bringing the value both areas. Can you maybe walk us through a bit about how the process looks like from your end?
So from connecting a building, you mean? Yeah, so we are not the district heating operators ourselves, right? So those are energy utilities mainly, or the kind of companies that are providing those or replacing basically the central heating of those buildings by their infrastructures. That is a quite slow process, but very strongly pushed by policies, as I said. And we are really working on existing networks on the existing client base, so the ones that are connected already. And here, when there is already some digitalization in place, which depending on the countries is a bit, the level is quite different, then we set connectors, software connectors through the infrastructure of our client to collect the data and also to send the set points for the autonomous optimization. And when it is not, then we use third-party electricians to deploy those IoT gateways to connect to the meters and a few probes that collect the data that we need.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're running out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your presentation. Let's continue with Ebrahim Balouji, CEO and co-founder of Eneryield. Welcome on stage.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ebrahim Balouji, CEO, co-founder of Eneryield. What we do at Eneryield is AI-driven software to predict failures in power systems. The technology is based on more than 13 years of research in Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden. We are 3 co-founders. I hold 2 PhD, one in power engineering and one machine learning AI. And we're based in Sweden. Why we started working on it? Because what is the worst nightmare for any utility? It is power outage. As a statistical perspective, for example, only in US, the cost of these faults and failures is more than $150 billion, globally more than $300 billion. To avoid that, either we need to modernize the power systems. For example, it can cost up to more than $3 to $4 trillion for all of the utilities globally, or start to do modernization with partially, which is growing in the system, and then these partial modernization per substation also have cost. So what we try to do is we basically try to predict the outages without any additional hardware. What we do is utilize the existing relays and merging units, analyzing only voltage and current, detecting the abnormalities to predict the failures. We localize the faults down to the meter level, and we also pinpoint what is the root cause behind it. For example, we can say that it's coming from a transformer or headlines. The solution is applicable both underground, subsea cables, inside of substation and outside, to be able to provide the utilities a proactive tool. Simple as that. We can do this by 97% accuracy based on the data and the projects that globally we have deployed in the United States, in Sweden, in Europe, and Middle East. So various places has been applied and tried out. So the bottom line, it can be summarized like this. We can reduce 10 to 20% of operational maintenance costs per customer. We can predict 70% of the failures and faults before they happen. And per substation, we can save, in average, 40 megawatt energy. We can extend, for example, component life like transformers by 35 years based on the real projects data that we have done. And then per distribution substation, revenue-wise, we can save $100K per substation and $1 million for the transmission companies. So what we are looking at Eneryield is more projects and also strategic investors in the future to collaborate with. That's it.
You have impressive geographic coverage for an early stage startup. How are you managing that from a go-to-market function?
We have strategic partners like ABB. We are in partnership with the other system integrators like Capgemini and so on. So we have a support, as well as we have optimized the way that we are collecting the data significantly towards digital substations. So we offer the unique solutions everywhere. And also, we don't start training from scratch when we are going to a new customers. We have a model that has been trained over 20 million anomalies prior to the main incidences that has been collected since 2013. So we have a unique model that can be applied everywhere without too much retraining or so on. We just do a little bit of a transfer learning for each new customer.
Thank you for the presentation. Super impressive stuff. How do you price this? What's the revenue model?
We can price into two ways. One is a perpetual license. For example, the utility can buy it, similar to even hardware, and then we can offer support and maintenance and updates every year. Or we can go directly to the subscription models. The solution can be deployed in both cloud and on-prem. It doesn't differ for us, so it depends on the customers, and we have both models available for the customers to choose.
Okay, 3 seconds to go, so if there are not any more questions, that will be all. Thank you very much, Ebrahim. Thank you, and let's move on. Let's welcome to the stage Ethan Su, CEO of enjoyelec. Big applause to Ethan.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, hello everyone, and this is Ethan from enjoyelec. And today I will talking about the home energy systems. Because everybody is talking about the flexibility, utility, story, but we have tested about lots of the people right now use controllable energy, but in the future we have there more. But we more care about the customer experience. If customer experience do not very happy, cost saving, heating the warming the house, they do not like allow your equipment to go to the flexibility. So what we are focusing, we're focusing on how to bring the best customer experience. So that's the customer experience right now. And because right now we also have more than 40,000 of customers in Europe. Because most of the challenges, such like the OEM's cloud is not very good for in real times. And if you want optimization at one house, that will chaos because it's isolated. And also is optimization with such like a utility want, okay, power limited from the smart grid, such like in German, there's a 48 Act, so it's hardly to achievement based on the cloud. So this is a nightmare for the house owners and also apartment owners. So what's we bring their benefit for them, and we have compared lots of the different customer requirement and the competitor. And what we are doing, and we want to bring our hardware connector in one house, communicate everything, control them, optimization them, and then we can bring the flexibility to the grid. And so this is our solution. Our solution, we use one hardware unit, and inside also we cooperation with the Qualcomm, and we announced in the Las Vegas in this January. And we use the AI chip inside and optimization internally. But the first object, we need to connect the different device. That is also the biggest object, because right now in the whole marketing, every OEM, they use a private Modbus protocol. So that's why we connect them is a huge effort, our engineering. Right now we have into operation more than the 93 different brands, such as heating pump company, Visma, Valiance, battery, SMA, SolarEdge, and also some EV charger companies. And so once we connect them together, or use our AI engine in a cloud, and also with the edge AI chip with the Qualcomm chip inside. And we will calculate outside data, third-party data, weather data, spot marketing price data, demand tariff data, and internally we also have real-time data, and then optimization them, and in the cloud. And also we have support offline, because sometimes maybe storm rain, storm and hurricane, so we can support the locally optimization continually. And then so we have achieved the help customer building the saving. So we will continue running the 24 hours for optimization. So we will help customer get the best experience, even the heating pump, battery, and EV charger for smart charging. So that's what we are doing. And right now we have in the Europe, we have launched lots of the customer go to with such like the installers. And in the future, we will focus on how to bring the best customer experience, firstly. Yeah, thank you. Maybe some the case show, yeah, okay. Any question?
So when you're presenting the solution, it's focused on the individuals as the customer, the consumer, prosumers, and also function as another layer of economically benefits for the utilities, the suppliers, the other kind of layers. Can you share maybe how do you deal with that kind of areas that is change from country, adapt yourself to those difficulties and differentiation from each country?
Yes, and firstly, right now we are focusing on such like in German, Belgium, and also it's French. And because French, we were right now working with Renault because they have launched their EVs vehicle to grid. So Renault is also our right now is a shareholder. And for the German, because right now there's lots of the utility restrictions, such like you cannot reduce the solar export to a grid. So, but other countries, such like the Netherlands, because our company is founded in the Amsterdam, but still the Netherlands is less marketing. And we will working with the different installer for get the local regulation and support with them. And the other country, we also looking the partners because we are looking for different distributors to support us. So our solution is white label. So we will help our customers. And this, for example, we just signed a contract also in the Italia and also Spanish. So because we are white label for them, and they will bring the know-how for us, and we will focusing on the technical part.
30 seconds, time for another question.
Do you generate revenue only on the SaaS model or also hardware sales, or is it a combination of both? And if also on the hardware, how many devices do you need in one home to have like full coverage and full visibility?
Yes, and our business model is we just like the one-off time is the hardware. And then we will continue to use the cloud service subscription feed. And our cloud service is there, we want two parts. One is we are just like directed to the consumer. And we will choose as a pay-as-you-go. Because consumers, they say thinking, okay, this month you can close the saving for them, they will continue payment. But if they stop the subscription, they will feeling is hurt because the billing will rise again. So they will next month, they will continue the payment rate. And another is we're working with the bigger companies and we white label for them. So they will charge the one package integration with their demand tariff, the package to their customer. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. And let's go with Pavel Konecny, CEO of Neuron Soundware. There you are. Great entrance. Here you are.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pavel, and our company, as name says, is processing mainly sound, but all other type of sensors. And we are building what we call brainware for machines. So there's a lack of intelligence with machines. Everybody heard about self-driving cars, but there are so many machines which can work much smarter. We got a couple of examples. This is our application when we are preventing on a single line about 30,000 kilograms of scrap wire every year. We have been monitoring in terms of predictive maintenance, preventing machine unplanned downtime, assets like hydro plants and others, turbines. Yeah? Our solution, it's all-in-one, so you don't need anything to deploy it. It's IoT device, industrial grade. We have also backend portal platform, and through our 6 years of operations, we collected more than 1.1 billion recordings of all kinds of machines, compressors, pump, valves, transformers, turbines, everything we could get our hands on. Our yearly customers are across different applications. As I said, we also focus now mainly on energy with the latest assets with these transformers. So if machine doesn't need to move, if it exists, we can be monitoring it and make it smarter. The IoT device is powered by NVIDIA compute modules. It has up to 16 sensors. We can process all data within the box. This year we also released a feature to train the models within the IoT device. So we have these pre-trained big fundamental models, and we calibrate it for every single machine individually to remove all false alerts. We got quite a long set of awards for the way how we are processing data. It's really like human intuition, like we people are hearing. So we are planning a bit further growth with the two revenue streams. First one is activation fee, which covers also kind of the hardware deployment and lease, and then SaaS or licensing for OEMs. The team, we have now 20 people. We are based in Prague, in Czech Republic, all kinds of skill set, people with PhD in machine learning and electrical engineering and so on. Actively, we are now fundraising 4 million euros. We are beneficial also from European Innovation Council funding. So they are able to contribute half of the fund. And last slide, it's deployment on energy grid. We started last year when we are monitoring transformers, so somebody can guess from other data. We can really hear directly from our sensors all kinds of issues like partial discharge and so on. So with that, I will be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you for presentation. What is your accuracy score for the model?
Well, that's the trickiest question my machine learning team loves. They ask how many nines you would like to have. We just can tweak the data set. So for unsupervised training for any type of machine, non-root error, it's like 97% in advance. If you have a data set, then I'm asking how much data you would like to use for measurements. It's 99999. Sometimes it's not good enough because you really would like to have like a no false alarms at all. Yeah.
Yes, super interesting. Thanks for the presentation. So one question, so if you need to adjust your box, adjust the parameters to every specific machine or specific situation and calibrate it, how can you make this into a scalable business model?
Yes, so we have a typical setup. It's you deploy the hardware, you wait 2 days, you are recording 2 days of data, then you click and model is trained. Yeah, so we recalibrate the models to use the nominal behavior of the machines. We have hundreds, thousands of hours of acoustics of damaged machines, which we use for kind of advice what the issue is on which components. Just recently, we integrate large language models, so you can also upload the service manuals, and we kind of put in what the issue is, and we got the technicians exact steps to fix it or to control or to check what they should be doing. Yeah. So every machine automatically kind of recalibrates itself. Yeah. No need to do it somehow manually or label data. Yes.
Let's go for it very quickly, please.
If I understood well, sorry, if you are, thanks for the presentation. If I understood well, you are monetizing the transformer.
Yeah, transformers is one of the assets. We have all kinds of other machines.
And have you any client which is paying for this process, this monetizing process?
Yes, we have Eon, I can still talk about, and then one distributor in Czech Republic currently.
Okay, so we will talk later.
Yeah.
That will be all then. Thank you very much, Pavel. Okay, let's go and let's invite on stage Axelle Moortgat, CEO of Nox Energy. Oh, there you are. Here you are, Axelle.
Thank you. Imagine, it's February 2021 and Texas is facing a historic freeze. Power plants are failing, grid operators are overwhelmed, and millions are left in the dark. The result? Over $130 billion in economic damage. But here's the thing, this isn't just a Texas problem. This is a growing global issue. As more electric cars, solar panels, and heat pumps are plugged in, the grid is pushed to its limits. By 2030, we will need over $1 trillion in new grid infrastructure just to keep up with demand. Think about that, $1 trillion. But what if we didn't need all this grid infrastructure? What if we could solve the problem with what's already installed? Well, that's exactly what we're able to do at Nox. But first, let's take a step back. Energy suppliers are constantly balancing supply and demand. Every second counts. And when things go wrong, they need relief fast. On the other side, you have millions of renewable energy assets sitting there with additional capacity to respond. But the energy suppliers and these assets don't talk to each other. Well, that's exactly what Nox platform does. When the grid is over or under capacity, our AI reacts in seconds, adjusting power instantly. Our software directly integrates into the system of manufacturers, giving us access to their entire portfolio of assets. And we are experiencing huge demand. 6 energy suppliers are waiting in line to secure additional flexible power from Nox. And I'm proud to announce that we're delivering the additional capacity they need by partnering with the biggest heat pump manufacturers in the world. I experienced this problem firsthand. 2 years ago, I built a microgrid in Malawi to solve the problem of daily blackouts that made it impossible to teach the kids. And I'm proud to present you my incredible team. Louise's background is in private equity, and he's driving our sales and finance efforts. Martin is coming from Amazon and Accenture, and he's leading our AI development team. We started Nox 1 year ago, and after we started, 2 months later, we got selected for an accelerator in New York. The 3 of us moved there for 4 months, living in a very small apartment in Brooklyn. And then we came back in the end of September and raised $1 million in pre-seed in November. We are Nox, I'm Axelle. Let's accelerate the energy transition together. Thank you.
Any questions or not?
Hi, and thank you for the presentation. So can you talk a little bit about traction that you already see? I've seen that one pilot mentioned, but I'd like to learn who's already using it and who's happy with it.
Yeah, so we first focused on the heat pump manufacturers. There we are now partnering with the 2 biggest ones, Daikin and Valent. On the other side, we're focusing on the energy supplier sites, and there we signed 6 pilots.
Is there any revenue generation?
No, it's still pre-revenue, but the pilots are now going through, and the first revenue will come in soon.
What would you say is like differentiator for you compared to all the competitors in this industry?
First of all, we don't have any hardware, so it's a pure software play, and we are on the heat pump side, while most of the companies are focused on EVs and batteries. Because we focus on the heat pump, we have a very precise algorithm for the heat pumps, meaning that we don't predict the energy consumption, but we first predict the thermal needs, and then we convert that to electrical consumption, which makes the algorithm way more precise than the others.
And how would you catch up the gap between those that are focused all over the kind of applications besides only heat pumps?
Yeah, so now we are signing all the energy suppliers that are very interested in the heat pump model, because if you look at Europe, there are 25 million heat pumps, 4.5 million EVs, 1.2 million batteries. So heat pumps is clearly the big play. And by going there and already have one step in the door, basically, it's easier to expand to other assets afterwards.
Five seconds to go. No more questions? Okay, that will be all then. Thank you very much for your presentation, Axelle. Okay, let's present our last speaker on stage for this afternoon, Michal Lasocki, chairman, chairman of the Supervisory Board of Solwena. Here you are. Welcome on stage, and good luck.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a piece of software that manages energy for buildings. The European Union is spending huge amounts of money on energy generation, on energy transmission, on energy storage, which is about 80 billion euro per year. If you multiply it by 5, you will arrive at the approximate energy bill for the European industry in a year. Now, we believe we can slash those costs by 5 to 10% easily using the technology like ours. And that's exactly what we do. We believe that saved energy is the cheapest form of energy you can have. That's what the founder says. I believe him. That's why we have the product. It's just a piece of software that collects data, predicts, analyzes, manages, saves energy and money. This is how the interface looks like, but you won't see this much because it's fully automated. So even if you distribute passwords, users forget those passwords very quickly because no one looks at that anymore because it's just working. And probably this is the most sustainable thing you can do. Saving energy saves both costs, both energy, both emissions, and on top of that you get carbon accounting, so that all keeps all your ESG people happy. I call it a software-defined power plant. By December 2025, our customers will be able not to use 150 hectares of photovoltaic plants because they're using Solwena. We don't need no wind, we don't need no sunshine, no fuel, no building permits, no building procedures. We scale like software on almost, and we work 24/7 every single day. There is no match for us when you compare it to construction of physical assets, and it just works. Our customers are retail customers, logistics customers, office buildings, manufacturing plants, and public facilities. We sell them software in SaaS business model. What makes us different is that we probably got things seamlessly right. We got the buildings physics right, we got the automation right, we got the algorithms right, we got the AI right, and we got the energy right. And our sales strategy is to multiply our force by partners. Right now, there are more than 1,600 of buildings connected. Most of them are repeat customers with good international potential, and we deliver them consistent, meaningful, and explainable energy savings. This is the team that sadly couldn't arrive here, so here I am, the VC guy, helping them. And the story of the company is that Edwin, the guy who invented that, he did it together with a local software house. They secured some EU grants for funding, and then we came in, we bought out the software guys, so here I am pitching to you, looking for growth and for partnerships for the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the presentation. Very interesting. How do you compete with, I saw a number of different verticals and use cases there, whether it's buildings or industrial kind of load. How do you compete with energy efficiency businesses that focus on solely one of those verticals, as an example?
I'm sorry, can you speak up because there are some people leaving, I cannot hear you.
How do you compete with more specialist solutions around energy efficiency management within a particular vertical? Like, what's the USP?
I think we are pretty specialized. We win almost all of POCs. Wherever we come into POC, after 6 months we get selected. So I think we are the benchmark, at least when it comes to software and AI. And if it is not software, we team up with them. We create a universal solution with other players and we go together to the client.
What's your geographical coverage?
Right now it's Poland, because we see this is the low-hanging fruit, but we give special preference and thought to international customers, because in my experience, the easiest way to expand is to do it within the customer's organization. So most likely, the next country would be Germany, Czech Republic, and the neighboring ones where our customers are.
And what would be the main challenges going abroad that you perceive?
Not all of those buildings are, let's say, software ready. We have buildings where we actually can connect them within hours or man days because they are smart. But there are buildings that require substantial engineering work, which takes weeks or months to actually be able to deploy the software. So kind of messy customers.
Let's go for the last question. And yeah, it's all right.
You've been around for 11 years, and follow up for these questions. It's interesting to understand what is kind of the Kickstarter for pushing to the 600s kind of building, and how to make those 600s building into 6,000 buildings. What do you think is missing right now to bridge this challenge ahead?
You mean how do we multiply it by 10?
Yeah.
We'll build more partnerships, and we educate the market. The market is in our favor, because after years of waiting, customers finally decided that either you become energy efficient or you die. The whole Europe is suffering from being incompetitive, and energy prices are one of the most important culprits. So I think this is our time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that would be all for today. Congratulations for your presentation.
Thank you.